Hello everyone, my name is Dilik and I'm from Sri Lanka. And first of all, I would like to take you through a journey of an untold story of Colombo. And so with the current development of Colombo and making a city clean, Colombo faces a major garbage and waste management issue. Even though the city is green and clean, the waste get dumped and collected into somebody else's backyard. So these waste becomes 100-meter high mounds, which kind of created conflict between the people and the government. And in 2017, this 100-meter high waste dump collapsed, destroying 100 homes and creating also 32 deaths. So this became an eye-opening moment for Sri Lankans to manage waste. As a result, in 2020, they proposed to move the waste from Colombo towards Wilpattu, which is north of Sri Lanka. Wilpattu is a natural forest reserve, and this waste kind of destroy the natural reserve. So my project is a zero waste to energy plant, also known as the Blue Mantle. Blue Mantle is a site location as well, which is a Dutch name that refers as a valley of flowers. But currently, Blue Mantle is an abandoned garbage dump, which was abandoned 10 years ago. On your right-hand side, you see this beautiful mound with covered with greenery, which is a abandoned garbage dump. Even though it's beautiful, it has destroyed community and this context. So this context is also covered with industrial buildings as well as residential. To mitigate this, I have used the zero waste to energy hierarchy, which showcases that the lifestyle change is the key element to waste management, which I want to create a hope emerges from the mound of waste. And this set of colors I represent in my project itself. So these colors represent its functions. And since they are contrasting colors, I've used set of rustic and neutral colors to merge with it. So there'll be a certain gap between the contrast. And the concept which was developed through a story. From childhood, I was enthusiastic about power plants, hydropower plants as well. When I started doing architecture, I started having this conflict why this infrastructure building, which is a key component in city, are being segregated and people are not being welcome. So from this project, what I want to create is an anti-factory where I deconstruct the existing power plant and reconstruct in a way that it merges the people and this context, the landscape. So it develops through the form, the context, and the community. To create such factory into an anti-factory, there are a series of steps which are taken. When you consider the interior spaces, these interventions and intentions of using such space and the volumes, the components of factory, how I'm going to reconstruct it, and various methods to incorporate the landscape into the building. So when it comes to the lower ground floor, it's purely technical, it's purely power plant functions. But when it comes to the process, the units, what I want to do is embrace it and also highlight it. And some of these components can be interact with the public as well. So in the upper floor, the first floor, the public are taken in, which creates a journey of awareness and museum. And this is the main entrance. So even though you get these contrasting structures, the main building, what I want to create is a subtle building that invites the people in, and also it opens out to every space and bringing the nature in. So talking about the journey of this power plant, I'll explain a few steps. This journey also represents the production of power itself. So number one is the entrance, where you get the conveyor belts and the trains that dropping garbage down. So you get a visual connection with the such aspects. And number two is using the elements of the power plant as a feature. So this is a backdrop of a pit that takes garbage into the incineration, which act as a backdrop to the lobby space. Number 3 is where incineration happens, where people public get to interact with such elements, and they also get to be a part of this power production. Number 4 is the hologramic space, which is known as the Tesla chamber. Here, the power production is embraced and explored, and the journey ends with a museum hall, which is called the destruction hall. Here, it shows a cross-section of the garbage dump, which is existing, and where the project was built on. And I'll explain one of these rooms through a cross-section, which will be the Tesla chamber. So when it comes to Tesla chamber, it also incorporates the energy production, which is the turbine. The turbine acts as a monument or a sculpture, a moving sculpture, that also incorporating visual connection with the public. The public move through the ramp and they get to see this turbine. Also, it's an awareness of the scale of the waste being incinerated and also power generation. Here, what I want to show is the scale of this space compared to a human figure. This is a naturally lit space, and also they are taken towards the Tesla chamber on top, which has a 360 view of the city. It's a space like Tate Modern, where it demonstrates different exhibitions, and using features of the power production, such as the water tank collector. This is a collecting tank of the condensed water from the steam. This acts as a skylight that diffuses light that falls into the space, creating various textures on the floor and the walls. And also, I want to note that whatever these industrial elements which are there, I want to embrace it and also highlight it so the public be a part of it and interact with it. And when it comes to the other spaces, the main building, even though it's subtle, I want to create different volumes of spaces so it gets flooded with light and also with people, and to create a certain level of dynamic environment. Even though the power production itself is a sustainable approach, the building has various other sustainable aspects such as ventilation, natural elevation, rainwater collection, and smart facade system, water purification. When it comes to the human domes where the public interact the most, such as kiosks and their spaces, it's built by the community itself with the raw materials which are produced by the power plant. And the colors and the textures are vibrant, which represent that community. And also using recycled materials to create various textures and artwork that will gives an identity to them. And I'll end the presentation with a paragraph where it states that the project is not about waste management or energy production. It's also about celebration and giving the people hope. It's also about bringing something negative into a positive and giving these people in this community an identity of this by this project. Thank you so much.